Hey, it's Mary with the Painted Peach again, and today we are using a bowl, a cookie sheet, and we're remaking one of Kathy Jo's projects. This is the Just Our Imagination playlist with the host, Kathy Jo DIY, Rustic and Lace DIY, and the guest host, Z9 Designs. Let's get started with DIY number 1. I purchased these bowls from Walmart. They are very cute. They have a nice little rigid design on each side, so I thought these would make a super cute project. I will list all the paints that I used in my description because I can't remember to tell you right now. So I am using some folk art paint, and I am painting these bowls all over with this paint. The paint I'm using is it has a texture in it, so it's giving it a nice texture all over the bowls. Now that I got them all painted up and dried, I am scuffing up the bottom of the smaller bowl so that I can add some E6000 and hot glue to that area and attach it to the other bowl. And that's pretty much it. We have made ourselves a cute little bowl, and I think it turned out great. Alright, let's move on to DIY number 2, creating with a cookie sheet. I got these cookie sheets from the Dollar Tree, and there are 2 in a pack, so I'm just going to use one of them today. And I'm going to start by cutting all the way around the pan and getting that extra lip off of there. Once I remove all of that, I'm going to cut the rest of the pan up into strips about 1.5 inches wide. Once I get all the strips cut, I'm then going to fold over the edges so that there are no sharp edges left. While you're cutting, be sure to not slide your fingers across that metal or like hit your hand with it. It's very, very sharp. Alright, so we've got all our strips cut, and now we're going to do the folding. I also have this metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to use as well. And we are going to fold the edges, so I just go over and fold each side and the ends as well. Be sure not to slide your fingers across when you're doing this. It'll feel like a paper cut, but it'll be much worse. Alright, so once I get all those folded up, I'll be back. Alright, I'm grabbing my metal ribbon and these metal strips, and I am just rolling them. And I'm going to start with the pan strips, and I'm just going to take some hot glue and attach them together on each other. So I'm going kind of crisscross, and then I'm going to crisscross it again and again until I get the shape that I want. I'm just taking the hot glue and I'm attaching them on the top of each one and at the bottom. Then I will have a cute little shape in the end that resembles a pumpkin, in my opinion. It may not be something that you see, but that is what I'm seeing. Alright, once I get this one done, I'm going to do the same thing with the metal ribbons and one of the strips from the pan. And we're going to create 2 of these cute little pumpkins today. If I was to do this over, I would have painted these before putting the pumpkins together. So just paint your strips and your ribbons the colors you want them before doing all the gluing, because the inside is very hard to get to. So some of the metal is still showing on mine, which is not bad, but it's just not the look I was going for. So once I get them all connected the way I want them, I'm then going to paint. On the second pumpkin, I decided I want to add a little bit of dark wax, so that's what I did. And then I went back in after wiping the excess off and added a little bit of a bronze color, and I think it made the pumpkin look a little bit more high end, even though it's just some strips of ribbon. The bronze always helps, right? Now we're going to make sure these are nice and dry, because we have to attach things to the top. Now when you're drying these, if you use hot glue, they might come apart because it's heating that hot glue back up. I have these leaves that I found at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to use some dark green to paint them and then add a little bit of highlights with a lighter green. I chose these smaller 2 leaves out of the pack. Now I'm grabbing some of these wood pieces that I got from the Dollar Tree a few years back. There's just a bunch of different stems. So I'm going to attach 2 of the big chunky ones to the tops of my pumpkins. Then I'm going to glue the leaves on there. I had a little bit of hard time getting them to attach, so I had to make sure I glued to the metal and the stem, but I got those on there finally. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Excelsior and I'm going to add that around the stem just to give it a little bit more texture and a little bit more rustic look. Excelsior can be found in your party section at Hobby Lobby, or in your floral section. They do have a darker excelsior over in the floral section. Only the light is over in the party section. Now I'm just taking a little bit of jute twine and making a little bow, tying it off, and we're going to glue that on there, and these little pumpkins will be good to go. And here they are, all finished up, displayed on my stand. Let's move on to DIY number 3. We were told to recreate Kathy Jo's project, so I chose this beautiful door that she created. Now, she created hers from scratch, but I have this frame that I made something with last year, and it's a thrifted frame, and it was very old from, I don't even know when, but it's a very old frame. And I'm just going to tear it apart. So I'll take both of these board pieces off of it, and we are going to use this as our door frame. Now I'm going to try to make it look like a screen door sort of, and I have some hard wire little fencing stuff that I'm going to use on the top. So I'm just going to use my metal cutters, and I'm going to cut this piece down to fit the size of the top. And then we're going to use our stapler to attach it to the back of the wood piece. Now that I have all of that stapled, I'm going to add this piece of lace to the bottom section of our door just to give it a little different look. Kathy Jo's door was a little bit more farmhouse. I'm going a little bit softer, more neutral and primitive. So I'm not sure if lace is actually primitive, but I'm going with it. I think it gives a nice soft touch to the screen door. So I just stapled it on, and now I'm cutting off the excess, and then I'm going to use some hot glue to pull it nice and taut so that it doesn't flop around in there. I'm going to attach this handle. I got this handle off an old project that I tore apart, and I'm just going to screw that on there for the door handle. Alright, I have this greenery I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and we are going to make a little bundle out of that. And I have all these not ribbons, fabric scraps that we are going to create a cute little bow for our little swag. So I'm going for the more primitive look. Sorry about my big head getting in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crisscross these into like an awareness shape, kind of flattened out, and I'm going to do them each on top of each other so that we get one nice thick bow. I have this little heart that I have in some of my wood stash, and we're just going to paint it with some white paint, give it a dry, and add that into the center of our bow. I am adding a little bit of distress ink to it just to give it that little outline so it shows up. I decided to add another piece of fabric to the top of that white so we could break up the two whites. Alright, now we're just going to attach this up to the screen. I'm going to tie it on the back and also add glue. That way it doesn't fall off, and then we will be done. I really enjoyed trying to recreate Kathy Jo's project and make it my own, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Here is the finished piece. Don't forget to check out the playlist. This is just our imagination, and I hope that you enjoyed today. Here is the final reveal of all of our projects. If you enjoyed today, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a thing. And as always, stay peachy.